Hi. So today I wanted to talk about finding my purpose as a stay-at-home mom. And as a stay-at-home mom, like, I'm multitasking, which is mom life, right? So the 10-year-old is in gymnastics, and I've got the 1-year-old taking her nap in the stroller. And I'm walking to get my exercise in for the day. So boom, 3 things at once, right? And I have to say though that like I'm so happy and at peace. It's not like a stress to get all of this done. So let me tell you how I got here, right? So I gotta tell you some story. I'll try not to get too convoluted. I had my baby a year ago, so 36, right? And my fiance and I were like engaged, we're in love, we're gonna get married, and I was like, dude, if we're gonna have kids, we gotta have kids, because I was 35 at the time, and that was like my deadline. If you have kids after that, like, that's great, but for me, I was like, not after that. So I was like, bro, we better get busy. And at the time I was still in school also, and I was working towards my bachelor degrees. Yes, I was a late student. There's another story there. But I'm double majoring in psychology, criminal justice. I'm working. I'd done my internship at like this girls' home. I was working at the time with justice impacted women. So I'm like doing the thing, right? But I'm also like, I gotta have it all. So let's have a kid too. And I'm thinking, yeah, it won't take, we can try and try. Maybe it won't even happen. I don't know. And happened very quickly for us. So I'm like, I don't know, 6 months away from graduation, and I'm pregnant, which I didn't take that into consideration. And I do the thing, and I, waddle through my graduation and get my diploma, and I'm working full time, and then I go on maternity leave, and I have this baby. I freaking love her. But yeah, like, I have a baby, and that's what I wanted. And I also didn't expect it to like rock my world the way that it did. So it, I don't know if you have kids and this happened to you, or maybe you've heard that it happens, but like it's really hard on a relationship, and our relationship was going through it, and I was going through it. And the reason I was going through it was because I did not realize how much of my identity I had wrapped up in my career, the pursuit of my career, my education, like who I was, which is a very linear way of thinking. And I had fallen into that, and all of a sudden, we're like, hey, we don't want somebody else to raise this sweet little baby, so I'm going to stay home with her, right? I'm breastfeeding. She needs me. I'm home with the baby. And I love that. And yet there's part of me that's just like, who am I? And I was really struggling to find any value and worth, like, within myself, self-worth. And I remember I even went through this phase, right, where like, man, I was really going through it. And stuff had happened, that's another story. And I'm like Googling. I'm like, how do you develop feelings of self-worth, right? Because now I'm a student, I've graduated, I'm a freaking researcher, I gotta figure this out. And Google tells me to journal, get more exercise, and take fish oil. And I was like, hashtag not satisfied, right? I was so unsatisfied with that response. And so I'm like, well, damn it. I'm gonna I'm gonna take more exercise, and I'm like wrapping the baby up in like the little Moby wrap and walking through the woods just seeking answers. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna journal, and I'm writing the hell out of things, and fine, I'll add some fish oil to my prenatals, and like nothing is working. I'm still so miserable. And then I was miserable enough to do something new. And I don't know about you, but like being miserable can be a huge motivator for change. It doesn't always have to be the motivator or the only motivator. I could also talk about how we change out of like love, and I'll leave that for another day. But at this point in time, my motivation for change is being miserable. And so I'm on Facebook, and I stumbled across this like free workshop by the Somatic Institute for Women. How I knew about somatics, again, another story. Man, I got lots of stories. All right. So I have this like desire. I don't know. It just pulled me in, and I was like, yes, let's do this. And this woman, Moni Crystal, I love Moni. She was like speaking directly to me, and she was like able to put language to what I was feeling. And I was like, oh my gosh. And like this woman gets me in a way that like I hadn't even learned how to identify with myself yet. And so at the end of this little workshop, she's like, oh yeah, so I do a certification program, and it's coming up in January, and it's a year-long program, and it costs this much money, and would love to see you there. And I'm like, I must have this. And I'm like not working, right? And my fiance is like, he's taken on all the bills and providing for an expanding family. And I'm like, how the F am I gonna do this? And so I did the thing where you write it out. And I vividly remember this, like I had like a little ceremony thing, and like, or ritual, or whatever you want to call it, and I wrote it out. I was like, I don't know how this is going to happen, but I want not even to do this, I want to be this. This is what I want to be. And I need this much money, universe, so like, whatever you got to do, like, let's go. And I sealed it all up in like a little bag and went about my life, and changing the diapers and doing the school to and from and homework, and then all of a sudden I get this like insane urge. Not even like an urge, it was like a compulsive need to get my taxes done. And little side note, I hadn't done my taxes from the previous year, and I was like, oh man, I gotta get those taxes done like right now. And so I get it done, and I'm like busting it out in between breastfeedings and like, just, man, numbers are not my jam. So it was rough, and I get my taxes done, and they go, oh, well, here's your refund amount. And it was the exact amount that I needed, like the exact amount. And I was like, gives me goosebumps right now even talking about it, because like my mind tells me that these things don't work, but when I put that aside and I do them, like they freaking work. So I'm like, all right, like I got the money, and so I enrolled in the thing, and I started this journey of unraveling and learning and remembering and just being in a different way. And let me tell you what, like, I am so much stronger as a woman now because of this. Like, who I am today, I can look back at myself just in that time a year ago. Not even a year ago, that was 6 months ago. Damn. When I started that training 6 months ago, and, in that misery, and I just felt so insecure in my postpartum body, and I felt so alone and just stuck. And you know, I'm not bashing motherhood. Like, I chose to be a mother and I love it, and it's hard. It is so hard, and my identity cannot just be as a mother. Just like I learned my identity can't be in my career or as a student or who my partner is. Like, I had to go through this process of learning who I am and really loving who I am, and like, not like a floofy woo-woo self-love way, but like a deep loving of myself and all my aspects. So that's like just the short story of how I found my purpose, and now I get to coach other women. And I'm like, hey y'all, like, we can be fully alive, present beings. Like, we can have joy. We can totally orient around joy. We can like be all the things to all the people in our lives and like have the capacity for that. So I don't know, I'm just really excited, so passionate about this. And if you think that you might want to, can't walk off this little bridge here. If you're interested and you want to check out more information about like my accelerated program that I'm starting out, it's gonna be so good. I'm basically gonna do like an overview of everything that I've learned and like fast track you into such a good place. And you're gonna find out how to get there, right? I'm not gonna take you there. I'm gonna guide you and you're gonna get there. So if you're interested, please reach out. I'd love to even have like a 15-minute conversation with you, see if it's a good fit. So